Hi there. So, um, I'm gonna, I haven't done one of these in a really long time, but I'm gonna, start off by telling you guys about my day. Um, so, um, let's see, today, I started my day off by, the first thing I did today was I finished an assignment that was due last night, actually. Um, sorry, I'm saying I'm a lot. I went to Jingle Ball last night, and because my mom's, um, sorry, the company that my mom works for, they sponsor Jingle Ball, so we get like free tickets each year. And we got um we got free tickets this year, and we got like four. So I invited three of my friends, and my mom took the so I invited three of my friends, and my mom took the last ticket, and I took like so many photos of them, and it was really fun. And my mom ended up really liking one of the photos, so I got it printed, one of the ones I took with them, because I changed the filter, turned it to black and white. It looks really cool now. So that's fun. But so I got home and I was like exhausted, so I just fell asleep. And I had I had set my alarm and didn't go off because I accidentally paused it because like I don't know, I fell asleep. It was really weird. But so I fell asleep with my like alarm still not on, or um it was like on but not really on. I don't know. It was really weird. But so I went to bed. Like I didn't even go into bed. I literally fell asleep on our like couch sofa thing. It's not a couch because we have two couches, but it was like the smaller one. Yeah. So I fell asleep on that, and then I woke up and it was the morning. I was like, oh shoot! I thought I was just taking like a 10-minute nap because I had set my alarm and that didn't go off. But so yeah, I woke up at like 6 a.m. and then I got up at 6 a.m. I did the assignment, turned it in, and then I placed an order for the photos because after I wake up, I have a hard time falling back asleep. Yeah, whatever. And then I got up, or I was already awake. So I had two shows today. That was really cool. Yeah, I mean that's groovy. Alright, so I'm actually gonna read one of my stories today, and it's actually really bad. So um, yeah, I don't know how much of it I'm going to read, but I'm gonna read a good amount of it. But this is one I uploaded it like a month ago. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't even know why I uploaded it, but I was like in my like writing era. Before I start, the story does contain some domestic abuse as well as like deaths and suicide or whatever. So, listen with caution, I guess. I'm not responsible for your triggers. Yeah. The reading time is 11 minutes, by the way. So, yeah. Okay. It's called They Shine for You. What a cringy title. Okay. Alex looked over at Maya. The rough wood blocked out the side of her face, and the endless stars that brightly filled the sky was a backdrop in her perfect moment. Alex moved her body closer to Maya, trying to avoid accidentally slipping off the steep roof. She lay down and turned her head towards Maya. God, Maya. Maya turned her head to face Alex. She lifted her gaze and looked sadly at Alex. Alex paused before she spoke, mesmerized by Maya's sorrowful and vulnerable complexion. Your eyes are so. Ah, fuck. They're just so. You look so peaceful. Well, looked peaceful. You are peaceful. Wait, no, that. Maya interrupted Alex and chuckled. You dork. I love you. Alex turned to Maya, still leaning against the roof, and steadily smiled at Maya, gripped her hand, and turned back to face the sky. Alex was far too afraid to return the favor of saying such kind words to Maya. Alex wasn't very familiar with the phrase, so naturally she didn't know how to respond. She did, of course, dwell on every time she hesitated to give Maya a response that met the expected quote unquote relationship standards. Alex would normally redeem herself by nuzzling herself into Maya's neck and lying with her in either of their beds. Maya, still on the roof, cautiously crouched and crawled out the window. Alex, you coming in? I'm gonna wait it out for a second. Are you staying tonight? Maya crawled inside and went silent for a second. She looked down and in a low voice said, I can stay. Maya turned her head towards the window and saw Maya with her head low. What's up? Maya looked up and raised her eyebrow. Nothing, I'm okay. She smiled at Alex and let out a weak laugh. Alex got up, crawled off the roof, and entered her room. She put her arm around Maya's neck, and two of them sat on her bed. And sat the two of them on her bed, sorry. Maya, look at me. Alex placed her free hand on Maya's cheek and turned her face to face her own. If they ever do anything to you, you come and tell me, okay? Maya looked at Alex and placed her hand over Alex's. Okay. She smiled at Alex and laid on her bed. Alex laid behind her and held her close. Maya's slim body was pressed up closely against Alex's. Alex turned off the lights with the small remote and wrapped her arm gently over and around Maya's lower abdomen. In a low, soothing voice, she said, Maya, I want you to know, every time you say I love you, it's not that I don't love you. It's just that I don't know what love is. Maya's breathing stopped for a moment. Alex felt her take a deep breath as her chest had tightened. Maya turned to face Alex after locating her head, gently placed her hand on her cheek. You're worried about the wrong things, Alex. Maya pressed Alex's forehead against her own and whispered, You don't need to put your love into words. I know it's there. Alex placed her hand on Maya's back and pulled her closer. Maya slowly placed her lips on Alex's, and her lips grew weak as they slowly allowed Alex and her lips to perfectly meet, a dry but meaningful kiss. Fortunately, not crossed over by the vulgar sharing of saliva, which didn't exactly support the moment. Maya pulled back, but Alex grinned and pulled her in as their lips touched. She spoke. Teach me love. Maya pulled closer. I can try. Alex pulled away from Maya, and although she couldn't see her, Maya knew Alex had a wide smile painted on her face. Soon, Maya and Alex fell asleep together in the small room. As morning came, Maya woke ahead of Alex and woke Alex. I'm going to visit my father. I'll be back soon. Alex, only half awake, groaned and nodded. Maya let out a quiet giggle and made her way to her bicycle, which rested in front of Alex's house. She rode her old bike a few streets down, and once she had arrived, she gently avoided accidentally riding over a stone. When she got to him, she spoke. Hey, Dad. I know it's been a while since I've stopped by and stuff, but I just wanted to talk to you about Mom. Things have been crazy, you know. I mean, yeah, I'm used to it and stuff. It's just, I miss you being there for me all the time. You know how she gets sometimes, but I still care about her, of course. Maya pulled down her sleeve, which revealed a line of dark bruises and scratch marks on her arm. It's just tricky. I would tell you more, but I know there's not much you can do. It's getting better, though, I think. She's got a new boyfriend, which I think cheered her up a bit. Now all that she does is use me as an ashtray. Maya said with a large smile on her face. That quickly faded after she had realized what she said. I'm going to leave it at that, Dad. Love you. Maya stood up and placed the bouquet of flowers on the dry and empty dirt patch and tried to lean them up against the stone. She quickly got on her bike and rode away. While riding, she thought to herself, why did I tell him that? Why did I get so happy when I said that? I mean, I get that Mom was really broken after his death and everything, but the abuse used to not be that horrible. So this is a good start, right? Maya felt the road spin around her, and her grip loosened on the handlebars of her bike, and it fell over. Her thin, pale knees were now covered with blood, loose concrete, and dirt. Maya pressed herself to the ground and curled her fingers on the rough earth under her. Maya laid herself on the road and looked straight ahead at the sky. The stars aren't out yet. I'll see them later. Maya had tears gently streaming down her face. She stood from her spot and got on her bike. She rode until she reached Alex's house. Before she stepped inside, she paused. I'll stop at home first and see Mom. Maya smiled to herself as she thought this. Maya thought her mother only putting cigarettes out on her was something good, and in the moment, because of her joy, wanted to see her. Maya got back on her bike and rode to her small home. As she stepped in, her mother was playing the piano. A beautiful song she played. The notes twisted into a harmony as she played them all at once. Her mother turned to her and in disgust asked, "When did you get here?" Maya smiled and said, "Thank you." She ran up to her mother, who was sitting on the piano stool, and as she tried to wrap her arms around her, her mother slapped her. What the hell do you think you're doing?" Maya took a step back, and she was returning herself. She had realized what she'd done. "I'm so sorry." Maya trembled as she spoke. Her mother stood up and pushed her back. "I'll go get Jerry to teach you a lesson. I'll do it. You know I will. Don't make me." She gave Maya a soul-piercing stare and she walked away. Maya stood up straight and walked out the door. She got on her bike and rode to Alex's house. While on the way, a deer crossed her path. Instead of running from her, it approached her. Maya, in shock, sat on her bike, looking at the precious creature. Maya knew she could possibly contract something if she touched it, but in the moment she didn't care. Maya cautiously placed her palm out in front of the deer's nose. The deer stood there, dopey, blinking vulnerably at Maya. Maya moved her hand closer to the deer's face, and just as her fingertip touched its smoothened hair, it ran away. Maya, still a bit flabbergasted by what just happened, awkwardly boarded herself on her bike and had trouble taking off. When she arrived at Alex's house, one of Maya's mother's friends was there, Charlotte. When Charlotte saw Maya, she waved at her and gestured to join them. Alex, her mom, Charlotte, and Maya were huddled around the table flipping through a mountain of old photos. "Aw man, Maya, come check this one out. Your mom's in it." Maya slipped next to Charlotte and looked at the photo she was talking about. It was a vintage photo that held three people in front of a chocolate shop. The middle one was her mother. She had a trench coat, a gray silk button down, bell bottoms, and boots. Her hair was in the calmy, quote-unquote, frizzy bangs look from the late 1900s. Maya smiled, admiring her mother's youthful beauty. Charlotte peeked up at Maya, and she said in a low but direct voice, "I think you should go bring these to her. I know she'd love to see them." Maya looked at her and smiled. "I'll take it over now." She was in a good mood when I left. Charlotte laughed, and as Maya walked out, Charlotte talked about how Maya's mother was known for her vast number of moods. Maya got back on her bike and excitedly rode home. She raced through the front door and called out for her mother. "Mom, come here. Look at what Charlotte gave me." Maya heard no response, which did surprise her. Normally her mother would respond in anger. Maya went to each room and couldn't find her mother anywhere. As Maya opened the garage door, she spoke, "Mom, look at this." Maya dropped the photo to the horrific scene that was placed before her. Her mother lay on the floor with a small silver revolver next to her hand. Maya slowly approached the lifeless body. She stepped into the warm and dark puddle of blood that surrounded her mother. She looked at her mother's face and stared into her eyes. The silence was so loud. Maya felt the garage wall